Let me present the Integrated Development Environment for Mobile Applications, IDE DePro. It belongs to the no-code platform, but this is an IDE and not the app constructor. It allows you to develop mobile applications of any type and difficulty quickly and cheap. We will now create a simple application. The main screen will have a bottom menu with two items, News and Events, and there will be a toolbar on the top. When you click on the menu item, a list of news or events will be displayed. When you click on any item in the list, detailed information will be shown. On the screen with events, we will have two tabs, Past and Future. Let's start. To enter the system, you need to log in or register. We will register. After registration, the IDE reports that we have no projects. To create a new project, select the new menu item. Let's name our project, for example, Test 1. The rest of the fields are optional and can be changed later if necessary. After creating a project, we land on the UX tab that describes what the application should do. The start screen of the application is immediately created. Let's download the icons we need for the application. We can add more later if necessary. Let's describe the components of the screen. We select them from the drop-down list. As we mentioned, we should have a toolbar at the top. Let's select the icon that will be displayed in the toolbar. Now we are adding the bottom menu component. The prototype of the component immediately appears on the screen. Let's describe the menu items. We should have two items, News and Events. Let's choose the icons and enter the menu items, News and Events. We will also set the names of the screens that will be displayed when you select a particular menu item. Save the description and you can see that our menu is immediately displayed in the prototype screen, and blank screens for these items appeared. Their names are the same as we indicated in the description. Let's describe the screen for the news. We must have a list component. First, we have to specify what data should be displayed. To do this, we turn to the description of the data. So let's decide where our database will be located. Possible options are on the IDE DePro server, the developer server, or through a third-party API. Select the IDE server. After that, we can set the table name and describe its fields, attributes. The fields' names are arbitrary. We will assume that there will be an image of the news, a title of the news, a text of the news, a gallery of images, and additional text. Let's provide the field types. For images, we take the IMG type. For gallery, a gallery. Save in the description. Let's create the description of the events table in the same way. It will contain following fields: an image of the event, the title of the event, and the date of the event. Let's set the field types. For the images, we already know the type. For the date field, we choose the date type. Save the description of the table. Let's generate the data for the application. To do this, go to the admin page. Here we select a table where we will enter the content of news or events. Let's enter the data into the events table. Data generation is simple. The image file can be chosen by clicking on the field and selecting a file. Text fields are entered traditionally. The date is also selected as standard. The data can also be entered from a CSV file. Select the file and click Import. After that, we save all the changes in the table. Let's form a table with the news the same way. After generating the data, we return to the IDE. Let's describe what data we will display in the news list. Choose the news table and select the first three fields. Save the description of the component data. We can create a prototype of a list item that can be either horizontal or vertical. For the news list, we select the horizontal data orientation. Immediately, we have a prototype of this item in the screen. Let's switch to UI mode and adjust the appearance of the news list item. Let's correct the title of the news and make the color darker than the default for the text, and increase the font size. Go to UX description mode. When we click on the item in the news list, we must go to the detailed description of the item. So on the list component, click on the navigator button and describe the necessary actions. The element field indicates on what part of the item should we click to launch an action. 0 means clicking on the whole item. Here you can also select the type of handler from the list. In our case, we need a start handler. In the parameter field, indicate the name of the screen that will be launched when you click on the news. Let's name it Detail and save the navigator. The prototype of the detail screen appears immediately. Let's select the start animation from right to the left. Since the news description can be quite large, we select Scroll panel as a component. Let's describe the data. It will be from the news table and you need to use all fields. We also need to set a condition for selecting news. To do this, click on Where plus, then on the ID News field. This indicates that the news will be taken with ID news equal to the news on which the user clicks. We save the description of the data. We click on the vertical prototype icon and the prototype appears on the screen. Switch to the UI mode and adjust the look, in particular the title. As you can see in the prototype, we now have elements, images, and gallery with the indicator. Switch back to the UX description mode. Let's describe the events screen. As we remember, it should have a pager with two tabs. So we select the tab layout component. We set the text for the past and future tabs, as well as the names of the screen that will be shown when one on another tab is selected. Save the description of the tab layout. Its appearance on the prototype immediately changed, and prototypes of the corresponding screens appeared. Let's describe the screen past. Select the list component. When describing the data, choose the events table and select all fields. By clicking on where plus, we will set the data selection condition that the date should be less than current date. Let's go back and sort by date. Save the description of the data. Set the vertical prototyping for the item and go to the UI mode. Here we will correct the appearance of the header in a familiar way. For the date field, select the date format and align to the right edge. Let's describe the screen with future events in the same way. We have described all the required screens, so let's save the project. After that, select the APK generation item in the menu. This is a lengthy process. After its completion, we save the projects to the computer disk. Then we transfer the APK to the smartphone and install it in standard way. Now let's look at our application. Everything is displayed as we designed it. News details are displayed when you click on the news. We can see the gallery with pictures. Past and future events can be scrolled to the right and to the left. Thank you for your attention.